welcome everybody to the maiden edition of welcome everybody. I believe you can hear me from wherever you're watching me from. It's a pleasure, wonderful pleasure to have every one of you here for this live session. This was impromptu. I made this announcement on Wednesday, and lots of people have shown interest and turned up. I'm appalled, and thank you very much for being a part of this. Let's dive right into it. Tonight, we're going to be looking at several things that constitute for business. I am so pumped up for today's session. So pumped up. Don't mind my attire. I just tend to, find the beauty and joy in being representing my indigenousness. And I hope you do too, regardless of the differences, ethnical differences, and the likes. I just like to vibe and respond as it leads. Okay, now let's get right into it. But before we do, let me take a short break to check up on something. Just a minute. Okay, yes, we are ready to move. Welcome. Let me switch and show my slide. Today I'm going to be teaching with a slide, unlike other days where I choose to go with the traditional method of, you pour out everything. Now there is a an outline that we're going to follow for today's session, and I believe you can hear me. If you can hear me, type in the comment section and tell me where you are watching from. Type in the comment section. Let me know where you are watching me from. Let me know where you are watching me from. Just a minute, I'll be connecting my, let me put up my slides in some seconds. It's going to take me just a couple of seconds to get that up. Okay. Yes. Online Business Accelerator. Welcome once again. We are 15 minutes into this live session, and I want to once again appreciate everybody that is here. If you can hear me clearly, let me know in the comment section where you are watching me from. Welcome to today's live session. today is we are going to be looking at the online business accelerator. Now, if you receive the emails or you receive the messages that told you saying talking about what this webinar is all about, you understand that business by itself has a set of strategies that must be applied, regardless of how you feel about it, how you think about it. These are strategies that must be applied, and uh, failure to apply them will turn out to uh, be to the detriment of your business. Yeah, it is therefore important that everybody who has a business of some sort, if you have a business that you run, it is important that you know what a business represents, so you know what is expected of you at every point in time. Okay. I said in the first letter that it is very possible to start a business from and within the first 21 days of launch, it is okay. I started by asking a question, and the question was, is it possible to take a business, to start a business and launch and hit 20 and hit 500,000 naira within 21 days, 500,000 naira in revenue within 21 days? And please, if you do not understand my point clearly, revenue doesn't mean the revenue according to the dictionary means the total amount that is gotten from a business before the removal of expenses, before the removal of any other thing, everything all together. So I know what I'm talking about quite well. So is it possible? Lots of people respond to this question. Is it possible to go from um to go from zero, go from launch to $500 within 21 days? Yeah, to which I concur. I believe I know because I have done it. I did it at the beginning of the year, and I did all these things. I did that. I was able to achieve that with without the skills of the modern economy. These are skills like Facebook advertisements, using a website, having a sales funnel, email marketing. I didn't use any of all those methods. And while those things are important, it is also important you know that before these methods came to be, there were methods in which people transacted business. So these things has to be an addition to to the foundational methods of running a business. So you can make a sale even without those things in place. So now tell me, if you now have the added advantage of being able to own a website, put up your offer on a website or on a landing page, or to run Facebook ads or Instagram ads, or put up your ads on social media, any form of advertisement, all right, if you are able to put that up, tell me, why would you not have the advantage to make as much as you want to make? Let the masses keep on crying about the cost of things around in the society. Let them keep on crying about the cost of what have you in the society. It's none of your business, because you know how to call forth this money from thin air. It's not about and when I say this, okay, when I put out those messages, somebody even sent me a message asking me if I am sure about my claims, that is to fact check my claims. Of course, yes, I am, and there are receipts to show for it. But the last thing I'll do is to post a transaction screenshot online. Yeah, so I'm not going to do that. But then there are receipts to show for it. Okay, now you need to understand the foundational methods of running a business. It is out of those methods that you can comfortably put out and call forth money. If you have the offer, you have what to exchange for value, for money, you can make as much as you can. The only limitation will now be your laziness, your carelessness, and probably unwillingness to do the work. Okay, now let's get right into the business online business accelerator. um Now, the first thing you're going to have to do is to turn off all distractions. I would advise you to turn your phone into landscape mode. Put your phone into landscape mode so that you're not distracted by notifications or what have you. All right. Now, first and one thing that is very important, who am I? Why should you listen to me? Well, I'm not one to always praise myself. I do it when it is necessary, but it's best, always best, and I recommend that to let the results speak. Okay, to let the results speak for itself, right? And uh, in doing that, you can, in letting the results speak for itself, you can always get the applaud without, okay, without getting to sound like you are praising yourself. All right, now my name is Excellent 7 Idoko, and if you already know me, beautiful. If you don't know me, all right, I am Mr. Tall, Dark, and Handsome. This is what I look like. This is not a very recent picture. This was way back in 2021. Am I correct? 21, 2022, sorry. This is way back in 2022, before any of all these came into being. That was when I was just starting out as in the my career path as a marketer. All right. Now, aside aside the beauty and the rigor and the and all that, I have had the opportunity to work with Access Bank. I've also had the opportunity to uh, work as the marketing manager in Market Extra. In Market Extra, I've had the opportunity to work as a as the marketing manager in Market Extra. I'm also the creative lead for Ozone Digital. Creative lead Ozone Digital. That is my data agency, and it was under this data agency that I was able to achieve that volume of of money in revenue. Now, I am also the founder of Spark Project Africa, amongst other identities that I own and I take up as my identity. All right. Now, moving on. Moving on. You need to know, and the reason I'm putting this out is so you know what is what is coming your way. Okay. I've I started out as one who wanted to change the way things were with me and my personal life in 2022, because there was something I saw online, and that just triggered the need to make better with my life. And I started out as uh, uh, a not as a digital marketer. I didn't start out with that. It was with time that I had to evolve into the understanding of human psychology and how to trigger buying and selling from people. Okay. Now, in doing all that, I was able to put together and I was able to put two and two together, organize myself, and I found out one thing that was predominant with me, one thing I could easily do in my sleep, and that was I had a very easy understanding. It comes natural to me, understanding of the human psychology and what makes the human mind tick, and how the human mind reasons, how the human mind forges and makes decision. And gradually I was drawn into uh, uh, being a marketer, selling online. All right, now selling as it were, but then I choose to sell online rather than sell offline. Now, fast forward to 2020, 2024. Okay, 2023. At the end of 2023, the idea of owning a data agency, because of course when you want to sell online, um, um, you I think most of everybody who does something online, sells online, started by learning graphic design. I started doing graphic design from when I was in 100 level. This was about 2016. So I started doing graphic design way back as then. And so fast forward to 2023, there were a lot of skills there, but I just couldn't come to brand myself as a graphic designer. I didn't like that because, for one, I knew that there are limits to how much you can pull in per week, per month as a graphic designer. I know that there are people who make so much online, but then I wasn't just buying the idea. We are talking about Nigeria, and you have lots of bills to settle, even as a young person. So um, I had to do some form of rebranding. When I say we are talking about Nigeria, the Nigerian system for anybody who is a creative rewards those who are generalists more than those who are specialists. So if you learn copywriting, that's fine, that's good, but be rest assured that the Nigerian economy or the Nigerian system or those who buy from creatives in Nigeria will not just pay you uh, uh, princely sums to do copywriting, just copywriting. Most of the people who take up those labels and are successful with doing that alone are people that are outside the country. So understanding that, I don't know why it's like that, but that's just what I've noticed. In doing that, in noticing that, I had to rebrand. I knew that, okay, I had to package different skills together, put all of them together, and if I'm giving out a service, I know that there are several things we can give out. I'm not just graphic design. At the time I started doing graphic design, a flyer could go out for as low as 2,000 naira. And for one, I had issues with ideation, that is coming up with concepts. Some people, it comes so easily to them, they can spin up a design in the twinkle of an eye. Not me. Sometimes I'll take hours and sometimes days that I'm looking for ideas on how to create a graphic design. But then it's different for me. All right, so that's not something I wanted to do. 2023, because I knew all these skills together. All right, there used to be a course that I used to do, and that course was, we are bringing that course back, is a skill to profit accelerator, in which I teach 5 of the data skills. And so putting all these skills together, I teach and we do teach you to mastery and perfection. Then you go out, either outsource it as a service, or you take up the skill, use it to grow your business. Now, for in noticing this, I decided to put these skills together and start a data agency. All right, now, I didn't put up a website. I did not put up a I did not put up a website. I did not put up a landing page. There was no landing page. There was no Facebook ad. The only thing I did was to open an Instagram account, one, a Facebook page, two, and and I got a new phone number specifically for ozone details. Now, with those 3 things, I went out in search of someone who needed my service before talking about getting a website, getting this, getting this. And of course, if you're going to get a website, it's going to cost you money. So why go out doing all those things that bring in nothing when you've not made a sale? You're supposed to make a sale before going out to get all these things in place. Okay, so I'm already getting into the depths of the story. So it's going to come later. Let's go into something else now. There's a reason the president's picture is here, and that is, everybody right now is almost blaming the president. Don't know why it is, but then it's what it is. The economy is bad, inflation, and the price of the dollar against the naira, and everybody just wants to blame the president for what he has done. And somehow there is this thing about there is this thing about that I understand, that collectively, there is very little that can be done for the nation. Collectively, I mean generally, very little that can be done to salvage the situation. It's going to take sometimes years to get to a point where everything is collectively good for everybody in the nation of Nigeria. Do you want to wait till that time? Maybe you want to, but I understand that personally and individually, things can get better for individuals. But as a collective body, it is going to take a long time. And as you can see here, this is the president doing something like this. It's as if, okay, it's not my fault, oh, you know. Now that's I don't mean that's what he was doing in there, but that could be a sign to show you that at the end of things, in the grand scheme of things, there is very little the president can do to help everybody at the same time. Okay, so if help is going to come, it has to come from your personal dedication to work. All right, now our agenda for today, we are going to look at something that is important, like I've said earlier on, and that is these 5 things. If you got the email for today, you would have, for this evening, you would have, I sent out an email at about some minutes past 7. If you got that email, you would have seen what I'm talking about. And in that email, I was simply saying that I was simply telling you the agenda, what we have planned for tonight. Okay, now number one, we are going to be looking at the 4 factors of production. Listen, you cannot do business efficiently in Nigeria without understanding the basics. There are courses in School of Business Administration that are focused solely on teaching intending business owners or people that are that are enrolled for their MBA. MBA is Masters of Business Administration. People that are enrolled for their Masters of Business Administration, there are specific courses that teach them how to sell to the to the African market. Everybody understands that selling to the African market is way different from what you have out there. You can sell to the white man so easily, but for a Nigerian, it's quite different. A very good example, the idea of automation. The white man can buy a property, a house. He can buy a house without inspecting it, without coming in to look at it. But if you try it in Nigeria or in Africa, you're almost not going to make any sale, because the African man likes to work with people they can see, feel, and touch. But the white man can buy courses, can buy properties, can buy cars without having to get in touch with who is selling it to them. But that is almost not going to work in the Nigerian setting. And for whatever reason, it's just because the African setting requires a different thought. So there are traditional things that make up for business and being able to produce. For example, let's talk about the 4 factors of production. What are the 4 factors of production? Number one, the first factor of production is called the entrepreneur. Factors of production means that, and this originated from the industrial age, where somebody please fact check me on that. This is coming from the industrial age, where there was a high focus on the ability to produce. So they had to study the factors that enabled different companies to succeed and produce more than other companies. And they came up with the factors of production. What made this company produce more this year that this other company did not have? And because they didn't have it, it made them not produce as much as the other company. All right. So the first factor of production is called the entrepreneur, the one who runs the business, the one on which it is his vision, it is by his vision or through his vision that the business is running. He he makes the agreement, he calls forth the sales, he does whatever the he does the discussion with investors and the likes. Okay, now that's the first factor of production. You cannot take this out of a business. The second factor of production is your capital. Is your capital. If you have a pen, you write down capital, or you type capital in the comment section. Type capital in the comment section. Type capital in the comment section. Then the third factor of production is your land. That's the that's the third factor of production. Type it in the comment section. Your land. That's the third factor of production. Land is the third factor of production. And the last one, the last factor of production is labor. Labor. Now, whenever a business is doing better than the other business, it simply means that there is a factor of production that they are utilizing more than every other factor of production. That's what it simply means. So if you say that this business sells more, check examine their factors of production. Do they have more sources of labor? Do they have more capital to engage certain practices, to engage certain portfolios that will give them more results? Do they have a larger budget for marketing than this other business? Look into their factors of production. Their entrepreneurs, are they successfully, are they visionaries? Are they engaging the business as though they are moving with a vision, or they are just looking to make money and run away with it? Look into businesses that have failed over time. You would notice that, for one, those who were leaders and those who control these businesses had opportunities to take the businesses to another level, but because of either their greed or their personal differences or the weakness of their mind, or because they didn't have a vision, they took steps that were detrimental to the business. So whenever a business is functioning poorly, find out which of the factor of production is responsible for this. So say, for example, you are a young person and you know how to bake cakes. That is a skill you learned over time. Or just like a young lady sent me a message today on Facebook saying that she produces liquid soap, and she doesn't know that she's not making as many sales as possible. And my response was that she had a branding problem. It was very clear that she had a problem with branding. Her branding was poor. Now, is that a problem? Is that a problem of capital? No. Is that a problem of the entrepreneur? Yes, it is. Because the entrepreneur is supposed to know that branding is a core part, and you don't need to be told to learn how to brand your business. This is where the part of knowledge comes into play. Okay, now the four factors of production. Now, if it is, as you can see, I have my notes here where all the knowledge, because there are so many things and I don't want to miss most of these things. Okay, now let's look at the land. Land as a factor of production. What is the land? Land is simply the place transacted. For example, if you're someone that sells offline, your land will be the shop or the warehouse where your goods are stored, or the office where people come to do the transaction. That is the land. So if you are online, What is your land? Your land is your website. Your land is your landing page. And even today, it has gone beyond just your website and your landing page. Your land is now your social media expression, because for most companies that are conscious about those they bring into their system, the kind of energy they pull into their system, they know that they cannot just hire just anybody. They have to go and look into your history, your social media history, those things that you used to post back in the days. If you say you are a professional business, and okay, let me tell this story. Let me tell the story. Let me pause a minute and tell the story. Now, um, this story was told by someone else, and I'm going to rephrase the story in the best possible way. And this is how it goes. So, say for example, you you're a young man or you're a grown man, you want to buy a Lamborghini. That's the car you want to buy. Lamborghini, of course, everybody knows it. It's an exotic car. Is a luxury brand. Now you pick up your phone and Google Lamborghini stores around me, Lamborghini showrooms around me, and you see one of them saying that they sell Lamborghinis. Now you pick up the location, get into your car, and you drive down there. And on getting there, the place doesn't look or doesn't represent the luxury that you expect to see that you expect to get from a luxury brand, or those that represent a luxury brand. If you say you are selling a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce or a Mercedes, an S-class Mercedes, or a Rolls Royce Sweptail, if you say you sell any of those brands, you should at least brand your environment to look like what it is, like what you sell, what you represent. So you get there, the place is looking dirty, is unkept, but then because to give yourself uh, the benefit of doubt, you go into the place. When you get in there, into the showroom, when you get into the showroom, into the office where they stay, you see just two, three plastic chairs, dirty plastic chairs down there, and there is nothing. The place is dusty, it's unkept, the receptionist is asleep, and you get in there, you knock at her desk and ask her, please, I am looking for uh, so and so showroom where they sell Lamborghini vehicles. Now, because you have an expectation in your mind, you are ready to spend the money, but because of the branding, because of the ambience and what it looks like, you are quickly brought to consciousness. When you ask the lady tells you, oh yes, you're in the right place. You look around again to be sure you are really in the right place. You look around, everything is not speaking Lamborghini, nothing is speaking Lamborghini in that place, and you wonder if you are really in the right place. Well, I should tell you, just wait a minute, I'll call my oga for you. And she steps out to the back of the office and calls somebody. And after about 30 minutes, a young man comes out. And the young man is putting on a singlet. The singlet is no longer white, it is brown. And you ask him again, excuse me, sir. Or the man starts with you and asks you, excuse me, sir. They said you want to buy a Lamborghini. Yes, you're in the right place. Now, given that experience, will it convince you to part with your money? That's just it. That is just it. That is the essence of branding. And this is one of the core parts. This is one of the core parts. This is one of the ways I was able to get such. And you see, because everybody who registered for this is a young person, at least for those ones I know, yeah, mostly young people. My audience generally are young people. So if you're a young person, there are certain results you cannot command if you don't brand yourself well. I advise you to pick up your phone at your leisure time and go online, go to YouTube, get at least a course on, you can find a course or watch a couple of long form videos that would educate you on personal branding. It will teach you about the archetypes they are to put out in the society. Recently I went to the eye clinic to get a blue filter glasses. And while I was there, I just thought to myself, I am not just a random person who would want to get glasses just for fancy. I want to get a glasses, a spec or a frame type that would speak even before I open my mouth to speak. And I checked, what are the archetypes that we have? And I am one that is looking to project the ruler archetype, RULER, the ruler archetype. I'm looking to project that onto my audience, looking to project that into onto those that are within my sphere of influence. So I check what are some of the frames, the frame that would project that. So I don't just speak carelessly. This is part of personal branding. So I advise you, if you are going to step up and produce and get so much results, you have to rebrand yourself consciously. You're not a young professional, you're a professional. You're not a newbie, you're an expert. All right, don't call yourself an affiliate marketing newbie. Call yourself a don't call yourself a digital marketing newbie. All right, scrap out all that and brand yourself properly. Take the right pictures and clean up your social media handles. And in doing that, you begin to command the respect of people that can give you the results you desire. All right, now the second factor of production, that is, I'm going to go on to labor, then I'm going to go on to labor, then I'll talk about capital. Yes, that's the third and the fourth. Now, labor. Every single business has parts that help it run. Every single one of them. And how much you I don't care how much you can do all by yourself. I don't care how much you can do by yourself. Every single business has to have a the part called the factor of production called labor. Remember, I traced the factor of production labor back to the industrial age, where people that were doing business had to leverage they required a whole lot of manpower to produce their supplies, and because of that they had to leverage young people, they had to leverage men in the society, bring them in to operate the machines, the machineries in the company and in the industries. Take for example Bethlehem Steel, that one of the largest in its peak, the largest producers of steel in England. Now they have to leverage manpower. The same thing happens today, yeah, with Apple, Microsoft, and some of all these companies that produce hardware. When you check, they have to outsource that labor to places like Bangladesh, places in India, and they get all these people to handle the part of manufacturing, because one person cannot get to couple the phone, produce the hardware, you know, manufacture the hardware, produce the software. One person can do that, so they have to outsource. You can start at the starting phase of a business. You can do some of these things alone. But once you leave the starting phase of your business, you cannot do some of all these things by yourself. You need to find a way to outsource these responsibilities. At the beginning, yes, it's fine, you can get to do it alone, but as you move on, you have to bring in labor, you have to employ staffs, you have to get people to do some of the work for you, and this is where labor comes in. And now, thanks to artificial intelligence, the wonderful uncle ChatGPT, there are so many of all these things you can put up, and you get artificial intelligence to get the job done for you. Just last week, Elon Musk released the video of the Tesla bot that would take up. If you've seen the movie iRobot, where I think that was a 2004 movie or so, I'm not very clear on that, where Will Smith was featured as the star actor in the movie. Now, you would see that a similar thing is playing out before our very eyes, and as it moves on, you will see and notice that young people and old people who are going into their decline will be replaced by these these robots that will give out, that will stand in for labor. They will pass out for labor. Okay, now some of all the responsibilities will be handed over to them. Now, back to you as a business owner. What are some of the things you are doing in your business that can be outsourced, so that you focus on giving your business the best agenda for it, giving your business the best vision for it, setting clear goals, setting clear milestones, so you know that you take up the driver's seat of your business. Okay, now if you do not outsource, and this is one of the issues that those people that are perfectionists have in running a business, they tend to do everything by themselves. You want to design the flyer, you want to run the Facebook ads. I mean, you can get to do those things for yourself, but at some point, if you are going to scale, you have to outsource lots of these responsibilities. I bet you cannot handle 100,000, except your business model is well curated. You cannot handle 100,000 offers all by yourself, because there is the part where you get to talk to, there's customer relationship management. You have to converse and keep in touch with your customers when they make requests, when they bring up complaints. Do you respond to it and take care of every other area of your life? No. So you need to get into handling and disbursing responsibilities. Okay, now the last part, which is the last factor of production, which is capital. Now, here's the catch. In getting my own business, from when it was launched to over 500,000, I did not spend, okay, I did not directly spend on the business. I did not directly spend on, listen carefully, I did not directly spend on the business. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I, number one, opened a Facebook page and an Instagram account. Number two, I got a new SIM card, because I didn't want to use my personal line to run business activities. So I can say then, of course, mobile data. But either ways, I've said it that you don't need money to start a business, and I still stand on that. You don't need money to start a business, but you need money to scale a business. All right. So now this is how it works. Because when you do not have capital, there are lots of things that you'll be restricted in a lot of areas. For example, how do you for someone who likes to bake cake, wants to bake cake, you want to start a cake baking business, right? So how do you push on if you don't have capital? Now here's the thing. When you are starting out, if you do not have capital, it means you cannot take up the business by yourself at the beginning. It's just not possible. Because if you're going to start a cake baking business, number one, you need to get equipment. Number one, you need to get ingredients. Number two, you need to get ingredients. And you need to get other things that constitute and help you make a sale. And if you don't have capital, how are you going to get the equipment? How are you going to get all the anyone who comes to me? I have a message in my DM to respond about this particular thing, and that is, now if you now specifically if you are into the cake baking business, and you can apply this, if you can connect the dots, you can apply it to every other business you are into, which is, if you are starting out and you do not have the capital to run, what you should do or what you can do is to align with somebody who already has the capital, is already running the business, is already baking the cake, is already making those products. In an agreement, you state out your commission or your profit on it and get the cake from the person, go into the market and make your sale. It doesn't get bigger than this. And this is the basic ideology behind this business model called affiliate marketing. If you don't have the capital to start up all by yourself, get somebody who is already producing, become an affiliate, or get into a contract with the person, whatever way you make that agreement. But you do that in exchange for taking the product, going into the market and making a sale. And after doing that for a long period of time, let's say a month or 2 months, if you are serious and consistent with it, you would have gotten enough money to start up by yourself. And this is the advice you'll be given even in an MBA, because there is no certainty. There is no certainty that when you are given funds, and this is why I do not advise people to take up loans to start a business, except it is a business you've done before and you are very sure that you are going to come out with profits. Aside that, it is always advised that you get products, sell it in the market, and in exchange for that, you get money. Not only you getting money, you get enough experience from which you can handle your marketing when it is time to set up on your own. And this is the thing people do not understand. If you do not have the capital to start out, get the product, because in the end, the most important thing is the product. Get the product from someone who is already producing the product, the goods, whatever it is. Get the product and get into the market, make your sales. Of your profits, you begin to buy your toner, your bowl, your mixer, whatever it is you need to start up on your own. And now, not only would you have enough money to start up on your own, you have enough knowledge to put out. You have enough knowledge about marketing. Not only we have enough knowledge about marketing, you have enough knowledge about the market. You know lots of customers, lots of consumers. So when you start out by yourself, it's not a problem for you. But most times, of course, now everybody wants to be a boss. So some people tend to skip this part. I'm not going to advise you to skip it, but that is what you can do if you do not have capital. Now let's go back. Number 2, the traditional way of selling. This was the method I used. Now I'm going to come back to in number 3, when I'm talking about my own method, I would explain word for word how I got it done. All right, now, but then back to the traditional way of selling. Now, I said something at the beginning. I'm going to take you back. I'm going to take you back to hello, Samuel, I can see you. Good evening. Good evening. Now, I'm going to take you back to Um, Now listen, this is how sales. This is how sales. Let me take out my screen so you see me clearly. Now, if you can get this, if you can just get this, there is nothing you will be unable to sell in this world. Nothing. And I put it to you, there's nothing you'll be unable to sell. Nothing. Now, listen, this is how sales happen. It's not rocket science, and especially to the Nigerian market. This is how sales happen. Now, Africa, for one, is placed in a in a is it temperate or tropical region? I think it is called. Okay, the tropics. Just hold on a minute. Yes, Africa is temperate. Yes, I remember. Now, Africa is in the temperate region of the world, which means that there is the ability for lots of crops, lots of produce, agricultural produce to grow in this part of the world that would not grow in other parts of the world. For example, in Iceland, or let's say in France, there are some plants that would grow here that would not grow there. Now they know, just like it is our dry season in this part of the world, over there is usually winter for them. And during winter, everywhere is snowy, right? They are unable to cultivate, they are unable to produce anything. Everybody knows, and they start preparing for the winter season. And that is why before the winter season, there's always the Black Friday holiday. The holiday season is a preparation. So during the Black Friday holiday, during the Black Friday sales season, sales day, or sales season, however it is called, it is an opportunity for these guys to much as possible, because of course once it is the winter season, you almost cannot buy anything. You can't see all this produce, you can't get all this produce that are readily available. Now, but then it's different for us in this part of the world. You can plant and get these things at, you know, you go into some parts of Africa and you see lots of all these farm produce, bananas, plantain, apple, you see lots of them wasting. These guys out there, they don't have it. So traditionally, sales and marketing is a technique that belongs to the white man. Africans were not salesmen by tradition. The African man is not a salesman by tradition. According to the African system, the way the African man sells is by trade by barter. And not just trade by barter, there was another system called the night market. Those of you that are as old as I am or older than I am, you understand, you would know what the African night market is, where market women and market men take their products, keep it in the market, and when you wanted to buy stuff, you just take your money, keep it beside the produce, carry what it is worth, and you go home. That time they were not stealing. It's not now. If you do it now, they'll carry your stuffs. All right. Now, these guys could keep their thing. That was the original automation system. So you could be in your home and you are making money. You could be in your village, and some of them come travel from afar, keep their products in the market. So you are in your village, you are making the money. That was the original automation system. All right. So that was how the African man used to sell back in the days. So now they were selling like that because, of course, there was no need to panic. We had all the resources, they had all the products to themselves. Unlike now, okay, unlike the white men that do not have all these plants readily available. Take, for example, the largest exporter, of cocoa. Cocoa is the raw material responsible for chocolate. Every every chocolate biscuit, wafer, whatever is made from cocoa. Now, the largest exporter of cocoa, or the first or the second exporter, All right, we are back now. Yes, where was I? I was talking about the African man's way of running a business, of making sales, and I started by saying that traditionally Africans are not salesmen. So every African that sells is doing something he learned from the white men, and I explained that traditionally, okay, um that Africans were had the access, had the blessings of lots of farm produce, and they didn't need to do lots of convincing or conviction to get whatever they wanted to get, right? So unlike the white man, once it is our dry season here in this part of the world, once it's our dry season, over there for them it is winter, and once it is winter they are unable to grow some of these farm produce we have access to. They are unable to produce some of these things. So at that point when they need it the most, they have to come down to this part of the world, which is Africa, and get it from us. So I was saying before the live stream went off that the largest producers the raw material responsible for the production of chocolate is cocoa, and the largest producers of cocoa in the world, I think second to um let me fact check. Yes, largest producers of cocoa in the world, I'm correct, is Ivory Coast. The largest producer is Cote d'Ivoire. They produce the largest amount of cocoa, and it is exported to other countries. And these other countries, it's not that they don't have the soil to produce it, they do have the soil, but it is not conducive for them. So now they have to come down to this place. And let me ask you a question. When they come down to this place, because it is not traditionally theirs, if they want to get it from us, how do you think they are going to get it? Is it just by bribing us? No, they will have to convince, they will have to influence, they will have to find a way to change our minds. And this is where the basics of selling comes in, because in selling you have to take something of value and exchange it with somebody who has either money in return. So this is the basics of selling. So now, anytime you are broke or you don't have much money on you, ask yourself, what are you exchanging, or what do you have in exchange for money? This is the traditional way for making money. Every other thing you see all around, every other thing you see all around is an overshoot of this. The conversation, for example, when you contact a customer for the first time, the conversation between you and the customer is is something along the lines of nurturing. You get to nurture the customer. Now in the age of what is it called, email marketing. With email marketing you can nurture the customer, but this is something that is being replaced. And just like we say in the Bible, is there anything, this was King Solomon speaking now, is there anything of which you can say, oh, this is new? Solomon said that it has already been and it has already existed. New things are just old things happening to new people. There is no fashion style, there is no style of dressing that has not existed in the past. It has been there, it is just happening to new set of people. Okay, so knowing this, And just like I will always say, anytime you are having less money on you, ask yourself, what what do you have in exchange for money? And basically, this is a digression now, but it is something that would help you. There are there are four basic things you can exchange. There are three basic things you can exchange for money, or four that you can exchange for money. Number one is your time. Number two is your attention. Number three is your energy. Number four is your money. You exchange your money for more money. This is investment. This is the real estate. This is stock exchange. It is simply exchanging the little money you have in exchange for more money. People who do gambling, betting, I'm not in support of betting, but people who do that are buying on that same ideology. They're exchanging the little money they have for more money. Anyway, betting is for the poor, stock exchange for the wealthy. That's just by the way. Your energy, when you see people who engage in all sorts of manual labor, that is a form of exchanging their energy for money. At the end of your manual labor, let's say those that dig wells, or those that dig graves, or those that carry luggage at the car park. I was saying to somebody, I was in a discussion with someone, and I was saying recently that any kind of job that places less responsibility on your on your innovativeness, or your innovation, or the use of your creativity, or the use of your brain, is something that is undervaluing you. So the white men will come back in the days and exchange. They will exchange their cowries for humans. That was slave trade. They will come in and exchange their mirrors for let's say banana plantation, large harvest of banana plantation. All right, or banana produce, or plantain, or whatever it is. So it is an exchange. The traditional way of selling, it doesn't get it. Every other thing you see that has modernized the way we look at selling is just an overshoot. If you have a social media account and you use that as the front page for your business, it is just a means for you to reach out to more people. But at the end of the day, selling is the exchange of value for money. If you are selling via email, let's say you learned email marketing, you learned copywriting, you learned graphic designing, whatever skill you are learning is an overshoot, or is a compensation to the traditional ways of selling. Selling never changes. It is an exchange of value for value. You have banana, and this is just a development from the olden days trade by barter system, before the concept of money came into place. So you take away the concept of money. Traditionally, when people wanted to buy things, I add salt, and you have water. I need water. I will give you this same a equal volume of salt, and we have an exchange. A sale has been done. And when the concept of money came into place, people no longer needed, because of course sometimes the salt you have might not be what I need. I might have excess amount of salt, I don't need it, so you have to get me something else. Then money was introduced. So now it was not just trade by barter, exchanging banana for salt, or exchanging apples for mangoes, or exchanging whatever it is, you have to exchange it for money. I believe this buttresses the point we have spent over an hour, 20 minutes, and I need to run as fast as possible. Okay, now on to the next point in our slide, my own method. How did I do it? How did I arrive there? Now, there's something you must note. If you are going to make a large amount of money in a short period of time, there is only two ways you can do it. Just two ways. It doesn't get better than this, it doesn't get juicier than this. Number one, you either, of course, we've set the foundation by saying that selling is the exchange of something for value. It's either you're exchanging your skill, a skill that you learned, you are exchanging it as a service to somebody, or you are exchanging some, either ways is something of value. Okay, now if you're going to make a large amount of money in a short period of time, there are two ways you can do it. It's either you are selling a product or a service that is low ticket. What do they call low ticket? Something that is cheap or easy to afford. Okay, not necessarily cheap, is low value. Let's say 1,000 naira, 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira. Okay, now a product that is 5,000 naira, easy to afford, lots of people can get it. All right, now it's either you are selling a product that is low ticket to plenty people, or you are selling a product that is high ticket to lots of people or few persons. Either ways, these are the only two ways it can happen. If you are going to pull in large amount of money in a short period of time, you either sell a low ticket product to lots of people. You can do the maths, and I must say, if you're a business owner, you must be very familiar with numbers. You must be very familiar with numbers. If you have a product of 1,000 naira and you sell it to 100 persons, how much is that? That is 100,000 naira. Okay, now if you have a product of 100,000 naira and you sell it to five persons, how much is that? That is 500,000 naira. You cannot scale into, these are the only two ways it can happen. The same thing goes if you are going to be doing trading or any form of arbitraging. If you are doing trading, if you are selling a digital skill, whatever it is, you either say, if you want to make huge sum of money. And in my case, we're in number 3 now, which is the methods. Now, in my case, I sold a high ticket product. It was a high ticket product and I sold it to 3 people and I got that amount. But there is no way you can make a high figure if you are not going to sell to people. We have established this in the traditional way of selling. Okay, there is no way. It just can't be done. All right, now leaving how I achieved my own numbers to number 4, which is the 3 pillars of every business. And before we go on to the 3 pillars of every business, I must now say that I will be opening up the online business accelerator program for people that are interested and want to hit this figure in 21 days. Now, within that 21 days, I'm going to be showing you and I'm going to be teaching you practical steps on how I did it. Now, remember, this is day 1 of this webinar. Day 2, I'm going to show you practical steps on how to handle digital skills. We're going to be handling as much as we can cover tomorrow, at most 5 digital skills. We're going to be doing that. I will practicalize everything. Facebook ads, I'll show you how to set up a Facebook ad that converts. All right, I'll show you how to set up email marketing. The emails you got, I do not use bird or pigeons to send it to you. I did it with email marketing. All right, I'm going to show you how to do copywriting. Copywriting is one of the easiest things. In one of the messages I sent, I said I am a master at all these things, and I'm not bragging about it. I've learned these things since 2022. So you wake me up from sleep, I know what to do. All right. Now, Tomorrow, I'm going to be showing you these skills. About 5 of them, I would, in the emails that will come to you, that will be sent to you, provided you registered, that will be sent to you tonight or in the morning after this webinar. It will show you our agenda. I'll tell you our agenda and everything we're going to learn tomorrow. However, in the online business accelerator program, you are going to, I will take you by the hand and move you from where you are in your business to you have a similar result that I had. All right. Now that's by the way. Now, number 4, before we get to the last part of today's lesson, number 4, the 3 pillars of every business. What are the 3 pillars of every business? Number 1, and when you piece these two together, you come up with, just hold on a minute, let me pen something down. When you piece these things together, put these 3 things together, you have a business that, oh my God, 3 pillars of every business. The 3 pillars, there are 3 pillars that make up every single business. 3 of them, 3 different pillars. Remember what we are doing tomorrow. Today is a theoretical session. Tomorrow we're going to do practicals. Don't be like all these people that are going about using AI to create portraits for themselves, and they are brandishing it all over the place, when you can use AI to pull in thousands of dollars for yourself. All right, now you can use it to your advantage. I remember when ChatGPT first time it came out in 2022, lots of people were using it to send love letters and the likes, right? Yeah, that's a use for it. But then if you are a person of higher discernment, you would know that there are better use for it. AI, like they say, will take people's jobs. Fine, it will take the jobs of people that have less discernment. If you have higher discernment, you will understand that AI, artificial intelligence, is a tool that will serve you. It must serve you. All right. Now, that's by the way, the 3 pillars of every business. Number 1, the first pillar of every business is your mindset. Usually I don't like to talk about mindset in business, because to me business is like a bloodbath. Business is not a child's play. It's not something they beg you to do. Nobody asked you to start a business. Nobody forced you to start a business. So if you are starting it, you 100% know what you signed up for. All right, and if you signed up for, if you agree to do a business, then what are you waiting for? You get yourself into the spirit and get the money flowing. You of course would make large sums of money if your mindset is right about business. And one of the things I know is that business is a spiritual affair. It's a spiritual dealing. And if your mindset is wrongly positioned, you have wrong beliefs, those things would limit you. Like they say that words cast spells, and that's why they call it spelling. The words you use about and around your business would, in the realm of the spirit, and when I mean realm of the spirit, I mean in the unseen realm, would have its way of conditioning your mind, and it will streamline the kind of results you get. Don't get carried away. You have to speak the right words, and it forms the right beliefs in you. So you know, and you have it at the back of your mind that where other people do not get the positive results from their own business, you will get the positive results. So you have it at the back of your mind that if there is no way to get this thing done, it's either I make a way or I find a way to get it done. There is no deal that you cannot find a way to bring up. And there is always a way to get things done. No matter what you think, no matter what you've tried, most times you've tried it and it didn't work because you just don't know how to get it done. And you don't know someone that knows how to get it done. But there is nothing. How did I come about this live stream? Nobody sat me down to teach me about live stream. I didn't go to anybody to. But then I saw someone doing it and I knew, all right, this is possible. What are you waiting for? Find out how it's done. I will not sit back and say, oh, somebody did it and I asked the person to teach me how to, and the person said no. All right, it doesn't want to teach me, and say because it doesn't want to teach me, it can't be done. No, you find a way. It's all about the mindset, the conditioning of your mind, the disposition of your mind. What is your thought? What are your thoughts towards towards business? For some reason, some people never sell above a particular figure. It's not because they are witches and wizards. It's because there's a limiting belief around that figure. And because of that, no matter what they do, no matter how much they try, they are never going to make a sale that is above that figure. There are some people that, because of the beliefs they've indoctrinated in themselves over time, they get to a point in their journey and they just plateau there. No amount of motivation or added knowledge will change the kind of results they have. And most times, if care is not taken, they die with that same level of results. So if you're going to have extraordinary results, if you're going to have results that people will be wowed at, you must work on your mindset. What are the informations you consume? Don't think because it is business, then it doesn't matter. What does mindset have to do with business? No, because like I said at the beginning, that the 4 factors of production, the number 1 factor is the entrepreneur. If you, as the entrepreneur, as the owner of the business, or as the one who runs the business, is not in the right frame of thought, doesn't have the right mindset towards business, you will see opportunities and run from them. You will see opportunities and it will pass you by. You will get close to sealing deals and you will sabotage it. Why? Not because there's an evil spirit from your village pursuing you. It's simply because you have the wrong mindset towards things. If you do not work on your mindset, you will continually pulling the same kind of results. Remember, we are talking about the 3 pillars that make for every business. When I made those results, you see, some people do business because they want the money and they want to show off with the money. What is your motive behind the business you are doing? Oh, you think it wouldn't contribute to the kind of results you pull in from your business? No, you are wrong. It will contribute deeply to the kind of results you pull out from your business. You make a sale not because you have a need to cater for, but simply because you want to show off to your friends. There is no driving force. For example, there was this man I knew about. The sole reason why he was into business was because he wanted to prove his father wrong. When he was much younger, his father would always make derogatory statements toward him, and he decided in his heart that no matter what, he was going to prove his father wrong. Now, guess what? This guy grew to the peak of his career. He was a banker and a top one at that. But right there, when he was at the top of his career, the highest position. Yeah, at that position, people get comfortable and think that this is everything about it. But for that guy, his father died when he was at that place. And just then, when his father died, all the motivation, all the push, all the drive, everything he had that was motivating him was gone. In less than a year, all those results, he could no longer keep up to them. And this is why I would always advise anyone who is going to do business and do it well in the long term. See, business, like I said, is a spiritual affair. It is not just something you do to pass time. It's not just something you do to feed yourself. Yes, you use the profits from it to feed yourself, but then business is one of the things through which we use to change the world. Look at this, look at the state of the world. Everything that goes on is as a result of one business transaction that is either failing or succeeding. If a war is if a war is brewing, just like the war in Ukraine or the war in Israel, now these things are because of business transactions that are going haywire. A business is not just something that you do to feed yourself. It's something that you set up, you establish to change the narrative of the world. So get your mindset right. The result you pull in from your business is something you use to change. There is nowhere you mention the name Aliko Dangote in this world that it will not spring a narrative. He has changed the way the African man, the black man, looks at natural resources forever. And he was able to do that because he was in the right mindset. Remember, I told you that of the 4 factors of production, number 1 is entrepreneur. You cannot do business successfully without being in the right mindset. What are beliefs that limit you? What are those beliefs that because of them you do not perform well in a business? What are those beliefs that you are scared to charge 500,000 naira for a business deal? You are scared to charge $1,000,000, and you just name the numbers. Once they mention it, oh my God, you are scared. Those are beliefs that will limit you. So everyone that is listening to me, take a personal audit. What are my belief system? What is my mindset towards money? And say, for example, when you are much younger, you grew up around people that lived a flashy lifestyle. They wanted to show off, and because of that, you were influenced because you didn't guard your heart when you were much younger. All right, you are much younger, however, your heart was not guarded, and in your mind, you said that some way, somehow, once you get older, you are going to pepper everybody around you. And because of that, every amount of money, every money you get, you put it into oppressing people, buying things to show off that you have a form of dominance. Now, that will ruin you. That is a wrong mindset towards money. Or say, for example, you didn't grow up around wealthy people. You grew up in a family where they had low respect for people that had money. So whenever you see somebody that is rich, in your mind, you just go somewhere and say, oh, I don't want to be like him. You hate them. You hate wealthy people. You hate rich people. Anytime you see them, you say bad things about them. Let me tell you something. You cannot be what you hate. If you hate wealthy people, you are never going to be wealthy. I don't care whatever business you are doing. It's down, and I am telling you what it is. So work on your mindset. We are talking about number 4, the 3 pillars of every business. Business is more spiritual than it is physical. Work on your mindset. Work on your mindset about money. Work on your mindset about hard work. Work on your mindset about smart work. Work on your mindset about working for a long time without seeing results. For some people, their mindset about working and about money is such that whenever money whenever a business transaction is made, there are some people I know, they've never done a legitimate business in their life. All right, legitimate business, but I mean, I need to get water. Now, they've never done a business that is business as it were. They're always jumping from one Ponzi scheme to another Ponzi scheme to another business, and just all over the place. In their mindset, they don't have the configuration of working hard for money. If you are like that, you have to change your mindset, because I put it to you that there is no way you are going to compete on the global scale of things if you do not do business the way it is done. Business is a bloodbath. Business is hard work. It's not a child's play. It's not something you joke around and play around. Oh yes, you can have fun while doing it, but when you check it, there are lots of sleepless nights. There are lots of deals that collapse. There are lots of headache in between transactions. And when you cannot stand up for these things, when you cannot put up for these things, you will do a business and you will remain at the same spot for months and for years. The second pillar of every business, number two is strategy. Strategy. Now, what is strategy? Listen to me. Strategy is not just a plan. Strategy is much more than a plan. A strategy is much more than a plan. Strategy is much more. Strategy is a combination of several plans. It's a combination of several plans. A combination of several plans. Let me ask you now, what are the strategies you have used in the past to run your business? What are the strategies you've used in the past? What are the strategies you've used in the past to run your business? What is your strategy for making a sale? What is your strategy for acquiring a customer? What is your strategy for fulfilling a customer's purchase? What is your strategy behind behind uh, uh, ensuring that customers return after they've made a purchase? What is your strategy for maintaining a relationship with your customer? What is your strategy for crisis control? When something gets out of hand, how do you handle it? What is your strategy that controls your labor force, those that do the hard work? What is your strategy? What is your strategy for acquiring new customers? No business runs without strategy, and a strategy is not posting every day. What is your marketing strategy? Of course, like I just said, your marketing strategy cannot be posting on your WhatsApp status every day. Listen, you can do that and it is fine, but I promise you that people who are using or working by a better strategy than you will beat you in this business. What is your strategy? Do you have strategies behind all these things? It's not just I saw a post and people will say, come and buy for me so that I'll eat, so that I will not die. uh, I'm active, and all those things they say. Fine. What is your strategy? You can use that, and that's good. But those who use a more sophisticated system than you will outsell you in the business. For example, all these things things I am teaching right now, I can easily put it out and say it. I can easily type it out. But then my strategy is that I have to get on here and put up a live stream so you see my beautiful face, my handsome face, and listen to what I'm saying, other than posting it online for you to read. Strategies are different, and that is why the results I command I would be way different from what you would command. It is not accidental that I am putting on this cap. It is not accidental that it is at this point, at this side of my face. It is not accidental that I am dressed this way. The images at the background are not accidental. Everything is intentional because I am working with a strategy. Every business must have a strategy. Every business. So what is your strategy? What is your business strategy? What is your business strategy? If you don't have a business strategy, your strategy for marketing, your strategy for customer acquisition, your strategy for making a sale, your strategy for fulfilling a sale. If you are going to pay me for a transaction, I am not going to send you my personal account number. I will send you a customized page where you make payments into. There's a reason for that. Yes. How do you set that up? How do you configure that? I take the time to learn all that. And there's a reason I take my time to learn that so that I can brand myself. Remember what I told you about the 4 factors of production, that one of them is the entrepreneur. And under the entrepreneur, we have branding. You have to brand yourself properly. So instead of sending you my OPay account or sending you my PalmPay account or sending you my Access Bank account, I would rather rebrand and send you a customized link. You see a page and you make your payments into it. It brands me as a professional. Would you take the time to do that? And yet you wonder why we have the same result. Now, number 3, the third pillar every business must have is execution. 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 This is the third pillar, the third and the most important pillar. We need to wrap this up in minutes. The third pillar, execution. How fast do you execute? There are lots of things that has been learned today. You will learn more practical things. Like I said, this is a 2-day webinar. Today is more of theories and the explanations behind things and how they work. Tomorrow is practical. It's going to be a practical session. So when you are putting out an advert on Facebook and you are using a particular kind of picture, you know why you are using it. You know the reason behind it. Okay. Now, execution. How fast do you execute? When you learn something that your intuition tells you this would give you results, what is the distance between when you learn it and when you put it to action? You attend a conference and you learn about a new sales tactic. How fast do you execute? And not just how fast you execute when it comes to your business, how fast do you deliver on the results? How fast does your business move? I've used cake baking as an example during this webinar. But now, if you bake cake, can I call you by 4 p.m. and I will get a cake? That's 4 p.m. in the evening and I'll get a cake that same day. How fast do you execute? And before you say, oh, it takes a lot to produce cake, I know somebody who does that. And that is their unique selling proposition. And they stay in Lagos. Anywhere you want to get it from, you get cake at anywhere, from anywhere. Or for example, you sell gift items and oh, I forgot, somebody's birthday is tomorrow. Can I call you by 8 p.m. in the evening and I will get the birthday present? And I'll get the birthday present by 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh, it's not possible. That's you. That's mindset. Your mindset, faulty mindset. And before you say it's not possible, there are people doing it. And when those people do it, they will beat you in the business. If I need, if I need, if I need, okay, you're a web designer, and this is mostly with people that are service providers. You're a web designer, you design websites, and I have, say for example, when you are registering for this webinar, you have to go through a landing page. Say for example, after this after this webinar, I'm going through the landing page and I notice a mistake and I notice an error and I need you to correct that. Can you correct it for me within minutes or before tomorrow? Can you build the website in one day? Can you build a website in less than a... And this is why, you see, when you work with people that control the world, you would observe one thing: speed. Speed in execution. Speed in execution. Speed in execution is a mindset thing. It's a mindset thing. Mindset. How fast do you execute? How fast do you get results? We'll elaborate on this, but some other time, not today. Some other time, I mean tomorrow. Okay? Now, number 5. What are the skills of the new economy? What are the skills of the new economy? Number 1, every business owner must be able to run advertisements. Every business owner must be able to run adverts. We're in number 5, the skills of the new economy. Every business owner must be able to run adverts. Can you set up a Facebook ad? Can you set up a Facebook ad? Facebook and Instagram ad. All right, you don't know how to do Facebook and Instagram. Can you do Google ads? Do you understand it? Because yes, I understand that you want to grow organically. You can, that's so good, that's beautiful. But how fast are you going to grow organically? Is it by getting 1 follower per day? No. When with your little money that you put into your ads, you can show 1,000 persons your flyer and they join you in what you are doing. Can you run Facebook ads? Number 2, the second skill of the new economy is, can you set up a sales funnel? What is a sales funnel? A sales funnel is simply the journey of your customer from the first time your customer says hello to the last time, to the last point where the customer gets his purchase fulfilled. And I usually add that it doesn't stop there. Customer journey doesn't stop when he gets what he is trying to purchase. It continues on to the point where the customer gives a review about you. Number 2, the second skill of the new economy is a sales funnel. Can you build a sales funnel? Can you build a sales funnel? Can you build one? Either through your website. What is the journey? Example, you put up an advert on YouTube. From YouTube, the person sees your landing page on your website, you get the person's contact, and on and on and on till the person buys the course you are trying to sell, or the person contacts you and says, oh, I need your cake, or the person contacts you and says, oh, I need the shoes you are selling. You need to have it at the back of your mind. These are things that would be pivotal. You cannot run away from it. You cannot run away from it. You can't run away from it. Can you run Facebook ads? And now it goes on. It goes on. Can you now sales funnel advertisement is the marketing end of your business. Your sales funneling is the labor factor. Remember, we talked about the 4 factors of production. Yeah, your sales funneling, building the website, and all that that is the part of labor. All right, and now things have even gotten better, because with things like with artificial intelligence, you can easily do your copywriting. There is no kind of copywriting you want to put out, and I'm going to show you. And this thing, I know it will spoil market for people that want to buy copywriting course. Yeah, these are the things they teach in affiliate marketing classes and the likes. Yeah, but with your chat GPT, with your artificial intelligence, you can get all these things done. Remember the 4 pillars of the 4 factors of production with AI, and that is the sole purpose. That's what AI is here to do. Back in the days, you need to set up a tripod and create a video, but now with AI, you can create a video with artificial intelligence. Before, you have to go to the studio, and it is only in this part that I can accept, I can agree with you that using AI to create a portrait of yourself is reasonable. You want to use it in your sales funnel, and it even goes down. With artificial intelligence, you can build a website as fast as possible. Okay, now we have 2 minutes to wrap up, and this is where we wrap up. But before we do that, let me give a quick recap of tomorrow. We are going to look at the remaining 3 skills of the new economy, and I'm going to give you a practical sessions from Facebook advertisements to building a sales funnel. I will show you how to get your website, get it hosted, not the way people do it. Okay, not the way people do it. Now, let me even show you something so you understand further what I'm saying. Okay, tomorrow. Yeah, because if not the conventional way, my own method. Okay, my own method of running email marketing, of setting up your website, hosting your website, not the way people do it, my own method. Okay, now according to our agenda, and this is a recap of everything we looked at today. We started with looking at the 4 factors of production, where we said that number 1, the first factor of production is the entrepreneur, which is the most important part of the most important factor of production. And I said that the factors of production dates back to the industrial age, and it has been applied in every sphere of business. And by the reason of the 4 factors of production, whenever a business is doing poorly or is not doing well, you can easily attribute it to and question which of these factors of production is not functioning properly. For example, if it is in a company where the staffs come late to work, you can easily attribute it to a wrong attitude to work. By that you can pinpoint and say that the entrepreneurial factor of production in that business is faulty. The second factor of production is the capital, and that is talking about the funding, the finances that is used to run the business. Marketing costs a lot. You're not going to give Facebook your fingers to pay for advertisement. They're going to bill you. You have to pay for adverts. You have to pay for billboards. You have to pay for flyers. You have to pay for design. All these things are incorporated in a business that run in the factor of production called capital. However, I also explained during this webinar that it is very possible to start a business without capital. However, it is almost impossible to scale a business without capital. There are two different things, and I went further to explain how to start a business without capital. All right, it's way back in the video. Now the third factor of production is the land on which I explained that the land on which you transact business could be your warehouse, could be your office, or could be wherever your transaction happens. It could be the office where you transact your business. However, from the change of things and the changing world order, now the land on which you transact business is no longer, it can be offline, it can be online, it could be over social media, it could be on your website. Okay, now so there are two dynamics to it. Now the third factor of production is labor. Who gets to do all the hard labor? Who gets to do all the hard work? In the past, you had to sit down and employ marketing agencies to market your business and show it to the world. But now you can outsource it, and using artificial intelligence, you can push that out and outsource it to them. I further explain the part of manufacturing using companies like Apple, using companies like Google, and how they employ laborers, how they employ cheap laborers in places like Bangladesh, in places like India, to help them to pull the hard moving parts of their business. And this sums up the four factors of production, to which I explained the traditional way of selling, explaining that selling is basically the exchange of value for in return for something of value. So if you do not have something of value, you have nothing to sell. So if you want to take anything home from this, you must make sure that the product you have to sell is something that is valuable, that the person you are selling to is willing to part with his money because he knows that he is getting something of higher value. Okay, now I went on to number 3, which is the way of which I explained the way I ran my business and hit those figures, which is over 500,000 naira, all right, in less than 21 days. Number 4, I went on to the 3 pillars of every business, of which I said that the first pillar of every business is the mindset of the entrepreneur running the business. For example, I said that everyone who is a business owner, your beliefs around money, your beliefs around the wealthy will trigger and control, or they will either streamline or help support the results you get from business. If you are somebody who hates wealthy people, there is no way you're going to do a business and prosper in it. It's not just because there is a spiritual sentiment around it, but it's just the way the world works. If you are somebody who has a belief around a particular figure, it becomes difficult for you to charge people that high. If you have a product that is valued at 500,000 naira, it becomes difficult to even tell people that this product is 500,000 naira. Why? You have an internal mechanism that prohibits you from reaching that level. To which I advise that every single person who is a business owner must go for therapy to check your inner being, for anything that will limit your movement, that will limit your result, the kind of results you pull in. And number 2, I explained that the second pillar of every business is strategy. There is no business that you can run without strategy. What is the strategy behind how you get your customers? What is your strategy behind how you market? What is your strategy behind how you get your goods, how you get your products to sell? What is your strategy behind how you get your product to your customer? Someone wants to buy a product from you. How do you get it from either your warehouse, from where it is, onto the person? I said that I could have easily posted all these things, typed them down, and posted them on Facebook for you to read. But on the other hand, I chose to come on live stream for you to see my face. All right, that is my strategy. You could use your strategy, but because of my strategy, I will make more sales than you would. And the third pillar of every business, which I explained, was execution. That there is no business that you can handle without strict execution. How fast is your execution process? How fast would we get results when we take up your course? How fast will I get my website if I contract you to do it? How fast will I get my graphic design if I contract you to do it? How fast will I get that shoe? How fast will I get that product? How fast will I get name it? How fast is your execution product? On the other hand, that is this, what I just said now is on the side of the customer. Now, on your own side, as the business owner or as the person who runs the business, how fast can you implement a sales tactics or a method of running business? When you learn it, you go for a conference, you learn how to do this. Or for example, you learn a skill, how fast are you quick to change? Or for example, you are somewhere and you get an inspiration. Oh, this thing can be done this way, it can be done that way. How fast, how quick are you to implement it and put it into your business? You get an idea, how fast are you to replicate it? So sometimes you find out that people sit out and nothing is done. They get an idea, they throw it away. And this sums up the three pillars of every business. Tomorrow, we are going to be looking at practically, we are going to be looking at the skills of the new economy, everything that constitutes for running a business in the modern world today. Facebook advertisement, I mentioned only 2 today. We are going to continue on the remaining 3. I gave you 5 of them. Facebook advertisement, I'm going to show you how to run a Facebook ad from the scratch, right? How to set up a sales funnel. How does the customer move from first contact onto product delivery? How does that happen? I'll explain the methodology and create a sales funnel for you to see. All right. And on and on and on and on. I'll give you the rest and we'll call it a day. I hope this has been helpful to you. God bless. No less. Peace.